Hi, Elena.
Hello.
Just first of all, you've had another long period of training. How has training been since the last game, and what have you focused on?
Obviously, I think having trainings is always good. Sometimes you want the next game to be as quick as possible so you can bounce back. And I think for us, it's just been, the focus has been on how we need to bounce back and turn things over, because the last two games is not what we are and what we want to be perceived as. So it's just been back to basic and thinking about who are we as Celtic.
And you mentioned after the last game, maybe something about this kind of psychology and like bouncing back. How have you kind of managed that over the last couple of weeks about kind of getting the morale of the group?
Well, we've been talking about ourselves mostly, is what we need to do to turn things over, but also like in terms of pressure and everything around, like people talking, and that's something we can't control in terms of external factors. The only thing we can control is what we think and our mindset, and how to make sure that we manage everything much better. And obviously we had an internal game. I think that was really, really good quality in terms of that game, and the trainings has been good. So it's all about us in the way of believing in what we can do.
Talking of that, playing Glasgow City tomorrow, both teams kind of coming into this game with something to prove after, coming off the back of defeats, and like, how do you think that affects the nature of the game?
Well, I don't know how much it is two teams that really wants to win, because we're in the split now, and you've seen so far that every team is taking points from every team, and it's going to be really competitive. And obviously, like I said before, our focus is to make sure that we turn things over and make sure that we come out as a more confident team, and a team that, first I want to see a team that fights for each other, and that's hopefully what I'll see tomorrow.
What do you think the biggest challenge Glasgow City presents tomorrow?
I think the offensive threat is something that has been something that they've been doing really well, and that's something that we need to be aware of.
I just wanted to ask, you said back in January after the Hearts game about being able to switch between a back four and a back three. We haven't seen much of that shift sort of in the starting 11 in those formations. Is that something you still think you've got in your locker in terms of being able to create some unpredictability for the opposition?
I think, obviously, I said it in January. I think it was before Caitlin Hayes left us, and I think that obviously, I think as a three we've been playing pretty well. It just sometimes when things doesn't go how you want things to go, you start thinking like, does this work, does this not work? And I think for us it's just believing in what we can do as a team together, no matter of the shape of how we play.
The other thing is, we haven't played a game at home for a long time. Do you think that is, you're smiling, does that, is that something that's positive for you as a team to be at the home ground?
Yeah, I think last time we played Douglas Park was January against Hearts, so it was a long time. Obviously, it's going to be really nice to see our fans again, in terms of how loud they can be and showing the support that the players need, in terms of what I just said is bouncing back and be the team that we know that we can be. So yeah, it feels really nice to be back at home.
And just last question I always ask about squad fitness. Have we got a fully fit squad, and are there any players who are not available?
Like it looks like now, Luana and Emma Westin is out, and Chloe Craig and Claire Goldie.
Thank you. Maria, hi. Just to follow on from Elena said about the fans being at the home stadium, how important is it for you? What's your message to the fans for the game tomorrow night?
I think it's just we've not played at home in a while, so it's just about, as Elena said as well, bouncing back. And it's always good to have your fans and your support behind you. Again, it doesn't really matter where we go, they are always there, but to play at your home ground, it's just that wee bit extra excitement, and we should have more fans as well.
For you as a player, how is it to have these slightly longer gaps between games and to, you know, have to introduce some of that competitive element in training rather than having sort of game after game? Is it frustrating, or does it give you a chance to do things you wouldn't usually?
I mean, we've got more time together, which is good. When you've got games all the time, you haven't as much time to, it's just about tactical about the next team you're playing, so we've had more time to focus on us and what we do and our principles. But again, I don't think it changes the competitiveness in training. I'm sure Elena's probably said before how competitive it is, because everyone's fighting for their place in the team every single day. So in terms of that, it doesn't change. But again, having a longer break at times can be nice, but again, it can be you just want the next game to come as well.
And coming off the back of like a not very successful run with the last 2 games, does that put extra pressure on you as a player? And how have you asked Elena about it, how she's been managing that with the squad? But as a player, how do you kind of pick yourself up and go, especially against a team like Glasgow City, who are obviously a big rival?
I think it's just focusing on the next game. We can't dwell on what's happened. It's done. We need to move on, and we've got a great opportunity to do that tomorrow night. So I think we all want to go put it right, and we've got a great chance to go and do that.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, hi Elena. First question is about Glasgow City. This season you've played each other many times, and the head-to-head's been more or less equal, and all the games have been very tight. Just wondering, what do you see as the difference in these kind of games?
The difference
In terms of how you get the one, how you would win, or if it was a draw, what makes that kind of difference?
Well, if you've seen the game, obviously it's been very tight. I mean, all the games has been the factors who scores the most goal in the end. I think we've shown that we create chances, enough of chances to win the games against them. It's just about who's the most clinical in both ends in the boxes, is who defends the box best and who is the most clinical in the offensive box. And that is the difference in these games when it's so tight.
Well, speaking on that, in the defensive side of it, how are you feeling currently? I know we spoke a couple weeks back now about that kind of defending set pieces, and you talk about how you were getting more and more involved in it. Are you feeling more confident in terms of how the team is set up to defend set pieces?
Like I said before, I think for me the involvement is mostly about go at them when I don't think it's good enough. I trust Foxy, who is responsible for it in every part of it, but I think for us it's been more like the players needs to take responsibility in the role to make sure that we defend really, really well, but also obviously clinical when we have offensive set plays, because like I've said before, I think it's been a good turnaround that everybody now needs to take responsibility instead of just focus and like, how do you say, like being comfortable that one player is going to do it. And I think that is coming from confidence as well, like that you're good enough to make sure that you can clear it or you can score. And that has been something obviously we've been working on trainings as well, so hopefully we can see a great confidence in our set plays tomorrow.
Yeah, speaking I guess of confidence as well, it's something you also mentioned previously about the mentality in the squad and maybe struggling with that, we're the champions and everyone's chasing us. Is that mentality, do you think, still there? How do you think we've kind of dealt with that, given that you're now, I guess, 6 points at the top? That mentality must have to shift now.
I think the mentality has and needs to always be on us. Like, we cannot think that everybody chases us. That is the reality. We're the champions. We play Champions League and everybody wants to make sure that we shouldn't, like everybody wants to beat us, which is fine. But for me, it comes in terms of having that confidence that you're good enough no matter who you play against, without being arrogant or anything. It's just be confident that you can do it and be humble and work hard to make sure that you're always going to be on top no matter what and who you play against. And that has been the message from the start. And I think for me, it's just more like the doubt that the players maybe have sometimes because of the pressure. And hopefully now it's new times, and for us it's about chasing now, because we're 6 points behind Hibs, who is number 1, and we need to chase and we need to win rest of the games to make sure that we can change things in the table.
Is that maybe the mentality that you like, that kind of almost not necessarily underdog, but you're chasing something now rather than defending?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No. I want us to be dominant. I don't want to have that underdogs feeling and stuff, because it's not how I am as a person. Like, I'm all about winning. I want to make sure that I am the best prepared, I'm the best trainer, I'm the best this and that and that. And for me, underdogs is just somebody who feels sorry for yourself and you want to chase. And for me, it's all about winning, and I want to be on top, and I want to be confident of being on top.
Okay, yeah, final for me as well, just about his analysis there that the last game of the season against Motherwell be at Celtic Park. I just want to know, is that something that you had an input in, and is there other games that you maybe would have rather been at Celtic Park?
Well, I always have an input in terms of everything that comes around the women's team. And I think for me it was important that we have at least one game at Celtic Park, and I think that is a big motivation for all of us in terms of we want to lift the trophy at Celtic Park again. It was an amazing feeling. I think I remember Mas crying last season on that day.
That was before we scored.
And that was before we scored and after we scored. But I think for me it just comes across like we have something really good to look forward to, but we need to do the job first. And we need to make sure that we are on the front foot of proving who we are. And that's what I want to see. I just want to see a team that believes that we can do it, and a team that has a strong belief in themselves individually, in the collective, and fight hard for 3 points, because it's not going to be easy. You can see it in this season. All the teams are at it.
Yeah, thanks very much. Maria, yeah, just picking up then on that game at Celtic Park, obviously got to look forward to. Is that something that you as a player, particularly your kind of matching Elena's kind of aim there to be aiming the shot of winning the league at Celtic Park again this year?
Of course. Like, I think all the girls, I know for a fact all the girls will want that. You don't want to have such a big game, and to put it as honest as I can, nothing to play for. So I think so knowing that we get a chance now to play at Celtic Park, or we are going to be playing at Celtic Park, and we've got a chance to lift a trophy there, it's even more motivation for us all.
Thanks. Also saw, I think at the last game against Glasgow City, you scored an incredible goal at chip from the edge of the box. And we also, so I just wondered, how do you enjoy your role? Did you enjoy the kind of freedom of the role you have, and how do you have the confidence to keep trying things like that?
Yeah, I think it depends on where you are in the game and what you're doing, but Elena's very big on everyone knows their role for what position we are at, wherever that is in the pitch, and it doesn't really matter who plays there, they know their role, and again, as you said, it's about having that freedom, the confidence to go and try something different and be creative and do something that you're not looking for that perfect pass or whatever it may be, and again, it's just having the confidence to go and do it.
Yeah, and obviously Elena spoke a bit about that kind of the pressure maybe the team has felt in terms of being the champions and everyone's chasing you. As someone who's a bit of a creative player, how do you as a squad and as an individual get that kind of spark back, I suppose, to be more creative and be more expressive?
I think it comes from us, and it's helping each other, being a team. If someone does something well, then we encourage that. We're shouting at them, well done, keep going, keep trying it. If something's not coming off for someone, you're still having that encouragement to back them, and then they'll grow into the game, they'll grow into themselves, and they'll keep trying these things. And I don't care if somebody loses the ball 10 times, and that one time that it goes in and we get a goal and we win the game. So yeah, I think it's just the encouragement of players telling each other keep going, keep trying things, and yeah.
I guess finally for me then, I guess this is a big game against Glasgow City. Obviously these are the kind of games you want to be a part of. As a young player who came through Celtic's academy and stuff like that, how much these games when you're going in for the title against title position mean to you?
So much. I think being in the position where I've seen how, seen Kelly, seen Craigie, seen Nats all come up and play in the big games, and again, you want to play in the big games no matter what team you're at, no matter what football player you're at, you want to play big games. And the last couple of City games that I've played, I've loved and I've really enjoyed it. And again, for me, it's just about getting more and more games as I can. Doesn't matter, as in every game right now is a big game. But I think it's for myself. It's just how many games can you keep going and keep that rhythm and keep trying to stay in the team.
My first question, it was just about the away games. and having had 6 in a row, Elena, is that a frustration to you trying to retain a title the way the league was scheduled? Because obviously that must have an impact.
That's something you should talk to the league. No,
Okay.
I always feel like the league does something in our schedule that is funny. But if I focused on it, no, we prepare exactly the same, even if it's home and away. It's obviously been a long feeling of always being away, but that is nothing that we focus on. Like, we need to focus on how to execute the game, how to make sure that we have a great chance of winning the game, no matter if it's home and away. So even if you say like it's 6 away games, like I seriously haven't even talked about it with the girls. In terms of, it's not something that should take our focus away from what the focus is on, and that is winning the next game. So it's funny that you say, because I haven't really thought it was 6 games in a row, but it's a funny thing though.
Yeah, it adds up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But after the Hearts game, I think you mentioned noise around the club, and be it from fans or other. I just wanted to know if you felt that was maybe impacting the players in the dressing room, or how they were coping with the noise.
I mean, like, obviously, like, we don't want to make, like, we are Celtic, so I understand that people are going to talk and people are going to, you know, feel what they feel because they are frustrated, because we're Celtic and we should win our games, and this is what Celtic is all about. And I think for me, obviously that is a frustration that the fans are allowed to have. I also think that it's like the fans should be in together with everybody, because we have fans who comes week in, week out, comes to our games, no matter how cold it is, how warm it is. They're always there for the girls. And the other fans that are not doing it has something to say. I wish it was different in terms of come to our games, get to know the players. And I think that's when I feel like it's more fair that people can have a say into things. But we are Celtic, so we're supposed to feel that when fans are not happy. I've said to the girls that we cannot focus on what people write, because that would just bring you down. I don't read it, for example, because I know that I'm a good coach, and the only thing I focus on is how my players feel, how they perform, and I need to make sure that they are all ready for the next game. But obviously, like I said, Celtic is a massive club, and we should always be expected to win, because that is our identity. Even if we are not in the same level as the men's team, we're still Celtic, and we're supposed and be expected to win games. And that is what everything is about. And I think that is something that the players also need to have an understanding, is this is the club you signed for, and this is the expectations.
Maria, are you aware of this pressure then? Is it something that you think about, or is it like water off a duck's back for you?
I think it's more on what Elena says. It doesn't matter kind of what game you're playing at. There's pressure to win, and again that's because you play for Celtic. I think it's just more. I think people latch onto it more now. The fact that we're in the split. There's still pressure when you play Queen's Park away. There's still pressure when you play Montrose away. There's still pressure when you play Dundee United at home. It doesn't matter what game you're in. There's always pressure. I guess it's just more heightened, or it's more visible now that it's come to the split. And I think what Elena said about the games, every game comes down to fine margins right now, and that's whoever gets the fine margins right is who's going to come out on top.
Elena, I wanted to ask as well about the international call-ups.
Yes.
Lawton called up for Scotland again, got a debut under you at Celtic, and Saoirse Noonan back in the Ireland squad. Does that feel very pleasing for you, and the kind of a vindication of your coaching maybe as well?
Well, I always say that I think obviously like the success that we've had, you know, we can, by winning the league and being the first time ever playing in Champions League group stage, you can always, like, because of my face, like I'm the manager, or like when thing goes good, it's my face, and when things goes bad, it's my face, which is my role. But when people takes the steps, like Mass, for example, like obviously like I'm there for them, I guide them, I support them, and I believe in them. And with that said, it's not because of me. It's because how hard they work, their mindset, the confidence that they show by maybe my belief in them. So if it's because of me, I would not say so. I would say it's because of the players' hard work and the mindset and what they do with my belief in them.
Maria, you were Player of the Month in February. You can't be too far off a call-up yourself, no? Are you having conversations or are you thinking about that?
To be fair, I'm just concentrating on every game right now. International breaks are not even crossed my mind, to be fair. If you get a call-up, it would be amazing. But if you don't, then you're still focusing on the next game. And right now, honestly, my focus is City. And then we'll see what happens international break.